G'day everyone, welcome to the Bothy. I'm Chris.
G'day, I'm Al.
Now mate, there is no fuel crisis.
No, I've heard that.
There is no food crisis.
No, well, not yet.
No, there's not one. There won't be one, mate. There's no crisis at all.
I was telling fibs.
So reports today that some New South Wales farmers have made the heartbreaking decision not to plant crops this year due to unseasonably dry weather, combined with a lack of fertilizer and diesel fuel doubling in cost when you can get it, and a lot of them aren't getting their full supply. So rather than say crops can guarantee financial losses, which is what it would have meant, they've decided to ride the year out and not crop this year.
Famine.
This has seen wheat and canola fields converted to grazing stock.
Oh, so more meat.
More meat, less cereal.
That sounds all right.
Yeah, not bad for us. Yeah, I'm happy with
That's if they don't export it all.
Well, exactly right. So while grocery prices are expected to climb by as much as 20% over the next couple of weeks, as the surge in transport costs take effect, this will only drive prices up further and make items harder to get. And that's the issue, isn't it? When things become hard to get, people panic buy.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, everyone's got a stock of canola oil that they won't be able to use in 15 years.
What do you think's going to head off the shelf this time?
Mate, there's still people I know that have still got pallets of toilet paper. I mean, come on. So let's use onions as an example because they should be the cheapest thing going around, right? So onions are incurring a $1 per kilometre transport levy just to get them delivered to distribution centres, right? They're a weed, right? Onion. This has seen the whole...
Pretty tasty, though.
Oh, they're beautiful on a barbecue.
Tasty.
You put them on your sausage with a bit of sauce.
Fantastic.
There's nothing better.
Fantastic.
This has seen the wholesale price of a kilo of onions move from as low as 76 cents.
That's cheap.
4 weeks ago to $2.73 last week. Lemons, the same. So basics are going to cost more. Milk is about to go up around $1 a litre.
And are the farmers going to get the share of that $1?
No, they get a cent of it, mate. It's all going to the transport companies, which they're not making more profit either, right? Because they're paying more for their diesel.
Yeah.
So who's making the profit? Lamb for slaughter is now topping $500 per head for a heavy lamb, up from $350 a month ago. And lamb is trading at up to $12 a kilo dressed weight.
That's
high.
That's
as high as it's ever been. That's great for Tara at Tara Farms up there on Shepton Hill. Have you seen Tara, mate?
I have not seen her. I've heard a lot about her.
Today we get to find out whether or not Captain's Nutsack hit or quit in regards to baby making, not the STD.
If you haven't seen Tara Farms, check out her YouTube channel. It is hysterical. She's as Aussie as they get, mate. She is a national wonder. She's unbelievable. It's not so good for the rest of us, though, so these are record high prices. So perhaps we should consider keeping some of the 70% of lamb that goes overseas for our own people.
That's not what we do here, though, is it?
No, it's not. We just send it. So we need the Donald to stop blowing up Iran to get the Strait open so that we can get back to whatever normal is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see what
the new norm.
Like. That's if Iran allowed to go back to normal. Then once that's happened, we desperately need to, as a country, forget all the ideology, all the virtue signalling, all the sycophanting to the UN and the WEF, and just get back to being self-sufficient.
Yeah. You are an optimist, aren't you?
It comes at a cost, though.
It's never going to happen anyway.
So 91% of liquid fuel consumption in Australia is imported. We all know that. In the early 90s, we were considered a net exporter of oil. By the end of the 90s, we decided that future investment in the industry was going to cost more than importing it.
Would that
that's
be
the direction
because
we
of the upwards wages? Wages would have pushed that cost, right?
Yep, and we were moving to fracking, which is more expensive. And other countries had cheaper costs of oil. So this was done by our very good friend Little Johnny Howard when he was Treasurer. What was meant to initially be a step towards encouraging exploration actually opened Australia up to global rates for the first time, where oil was cheaper to import than to produce locally. So all of a sudden, we could get oil from Asia cheaper than we could make it.
So why bother exploring, eh?
That's exactly what happened, excuse me. Australia then saw accelerated closures under the Liberal Party under Abbott, Turnbull and Morrison from 2013 to 2021. This period became known as the Decade of Neglect and leaves us where we are today, mate. Interestingly, Angus Taylor was the Energy Minister from 2018 to 2022, so he oversaw some of that closure. And he was also the Energy Minister that signed off on the sale of Australia's strategic reserves held in the USA. Australia held 1.7 million barrels of crude in the USA, but they were sold when under international pressure to release oil to Europe after the start of the Ukraine war. And we've never replenished it since.
But to be fair, what's that?
Couple of days.
Couple of days.
Couple of days oil. Yeah, 1.7 million barrels is not that much. Australia hasn't held the 90 days of fuel it committed to since 2012, 13 years ago.
No. Why would they need to, really?
Well, you wouldn't have thought that until...
No.
It's funny though, a lot of people have been saying in the last 12 months, we need to hold more reserves.
Who's a lot of people?
A lot of people.
Who?
It was a big... When I went to the AVA conference in Horsham, that was a massive thing that people spoke about. Barnaby Joyce was talking about it ad nauseum. I hear Barnaby talk about it a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He does talk a lot.
He does talk a lot. Yeah, he does. So that then presents a bigger problem, doesn't it, mate? That Australia doesn't have large conventional crude oil wells. In fact, we have about 6 years of supply left. If we was go and drain all of our conventional crude oil wells from land and sea, we've got about 6 years of supply left, they reckon.
How much brown coal do we have in this country? Aren't we one of the top?
Yeah.
20 years ago, they spoke about this. They spoke about turning brown coal into diesel. And it was all this is a new thing that was all going to go. And then all of a sudden, nothing. Never heard another word about it. Should go looking for that, see what happened to it.
Let's do an episode on that.
Why did that get canned?
Yeah.
That would have been perfect.
Yep.
I mean, if you've got that much resources that you can produce something that trucks run on, why wouldn't you?
Why wouldn't you?
Why? Instead of pushing on with the hydrogen, what was that thing that Bowen pushing on with?
Yeah.
That bloody thing. It's just like a
green hydrogen.
Just like a dead dog.
Yeah, exactly right. So if we don't go down the brown coal route and we don't have the conventional crude oil to tap into, that means we have to go and extract unconventional shale oil. This means hydraulic fracturing or fracking, as we know it here in Australia, which is a drilling technique used to break rock and extract oil and natural gas. It's controversial technique that's said to pose substantial environmental and health risks. Mate, I'm 50-50 on it. I don't really understand it, to be honest. But a lot of what you read about fracking warns of the dangers, and I don't know whether that's people that are throwing that argument up so that we go green or whether it's genuine concerns, but we did stop fracking quite some while ago. It's not illegal in Australia, but we have stopped doing it.
Yeah, I did hear that it can poison the groundwater, it can poison a lot of stuff. Yeah. And most of them are wildlife and like plant life, and it can destroy a lot of things. That's all I really know about.
Does that mean we should frack offshore?
Yeah, but what about the sea life in the ocean? Exactly right. It's like how much do we have to fuck the planet up before we actually go, come on, let's think of something else.
Well, it's a good point. So I'm 50-50 on fracking. It sounds like you're even maybe less than 50-50. So what do? Do we remain at the whim of the world with less and less allies seemingly willing to support us? And we're so isolated, mate. I don't reckon we really have a choice. We have to find a way of becoming self-sufficient. Is fracking and refining the future? And if so, are all Australians prepared to pay more for their petrol and diesel, knowing there's a reliable supply, not impacted by crazy wars and the biggest sticks contests that are going on around the world? And if we go down the brown coal route, that's probably dearer than importing fuel as well.
Not at the moment.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. The thing is,
you'd have to start a whole industry though, wouldn't you?
Back in the 70s, Brazil started a whole industry, didn't they? Built around ethanol fuel. And then in the 80s, everybody was laughing at them going, what are you doing with that? Why are you keeping... And they went with it. They pushed on through and, well, they've got... I think there's 90% of the cars they run in Brazil run on 100% ethanol.
Really?
I think so.
I'll Google it. Put it down the bottom.
Yeah. That's brilliant.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they've solved their fuel problems, but the land has to come from somewhere, right, to grow their corn. So, see you later.
Amazon.
Yes. That's what they're doing. That's how they've...
That's why they're burning it down.
Because that's why they've found... Back 100 years ago, 150 years ago, a guy went through the Amazon rainforest and he said, I found these cities. There's these cities I've found, blah, blah, blah. He's buggered off. In the meantime, whatever diseases they brought over, they've killed the majority of the population with European diseases. And then the forest is taken over and buried the cities. And then the archaeological people go over to have a look. Cities are nowhere. This guy made it all up. But now that they're going hell for leather and making ethanol and having to get more land, they're chopping down more of the forest, and they're finding possibly these cities that guy had seen 200, 150 years ago.
They have found them, mate. They're using LiDAR to detect these cities under the
How
under
crazy
the
is that?
Yeah, nuts.
Brilliant.
Yeah, it is brilliant.
But good or bad, they probably wouldn't have found it if it wasn't for the people going hell for leather to get their ethanol.
Yeah.
Well, that's bad.
That's bad.
That's bad.
Yeah, it's terrible.
No, that's bad.
The Amazon forest is being butchered, mate.
Yep.
Yeah. So let us know what you think, everyone. We feels like we have never more needed to be self-sufficient because it feels like less and less countries are going to come to our aid. If something did happen, Trump is saying there's no way he would support Australia now. Britain might say they would support us, but they can't. Yeah. And I can't think of another, New Zealand.
Well, Britain can barely support themselves.
Exactly right. I can't think of another country who would come to our aid.
No one.
Yeah. We've isolated ourselves.
Yep. I mean, and we give so much away to third world countries, and for what?
Yeah. Maybe Japan. Maybe Japan are coming.
Maybe. Or South Korea, maybe?
No. All right, everyone, let us know what you think. Self-sufficient, or do we just keep hoping that the rest of the world will give us some diesel and petrol?
And just be like this. Please, sir, could I have some more?
Or is the plan to run out and then we'll have to stay home?
And then we will be FUCK'd, won't we?
Get on your bike. Yep. You can't go more than 5 minutes.
15 minutes, that's it. No, you can only go 5 miles, kilometres.
Oh, dear. All right, everyone, let us know what you think.
Thanks, guys. See you later.